Every day, the world improves to make our lives easier, but many of the technologies we use utilize far more resources and electricity than they should. Using and manufacturing them creates a negative effect on the environment. Other factors include household air pollution. According to the World Health Organization, household air pollution is one of the leading causes of diseases and premature death in the developing world. Exposure to indoor air pollutants can lead to a wide range of adverse health outcomes in both children and adults. Contributing to clean air is everyone's responsibility. Let's clear the air. Join us, and together we help in saving Mother Earth.
The biogeochemical cycle in the air. Stay tuned. The oxygen cycle is a biogeochemical cycle that helps move oxygen to three main regions of the planet Earth: the atmosphere, the biosphere, and the lithosphere. The atmosphere is the region of gases that lies above the Earth's surface, and it is one of the largest reservoirs of free oxygen on Earth. The biosphere is the sum of all Earth's ecosystems. This also has some free oxygen produced from photosynthesis and other life processes. The atmosphere is actually the smallest source of oxygen on Earth, comprising only 0.35% of the Earth's total oxygen. In the atmosphere, oxygen is freed by the process of photolysis. This is when high energy sunlight breaks apart oxygen bearing molecules to produce free oxygen. One of the most well known photolysis is the ozone cycle. Oxygen molecule is broken down to atomic oxygen by the ultraviolet radiation of sunlight. This free oxygen then recombines with existing oxygen molecules and make O3 or ozone. This cycle is important because it helps shield Earth from the majority of harmful ultraviolet radiation, turning it to harmless heat before it reaches the Earth's surface. In the biosphere, the main cycles are respiration and photosynthesis. Respiration is when animals, humans, breathe consuming oxygen to be used in the metabolic processes and exhaling carbon dioxide. The lithosphere mostly fixes oxygen in minerals such as silicates and oxides. Most of the time, the process is automatic. All it takes is a pure form of the element coming in contact with oxygen, such as when iron rusts. A portion of oxygen is freed by chemical weather. When an oxygen mineral is exposed to the elements, a chemical reaction occurs where that wears it down, and the process produces free oxygen. These are the main oxygen cycles, and each play an important role in helping to protect and maintain life on planet Earth.
We as humans have grown to rely on fossil fuels to power automobiles and flights, heat homes, and run factories. The actions we make can release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Human activities impact the environment by contributing to air pollution, releasing dangerous compounds into the atmosphere. Air pollution has a multitude of effects on crops and trees. Solid and liquid particles and some gases suspended in the air contribute to air pollution from vehicle exhaust, factories, dust, pollen, and other natural causes. Lower agricultural crop and commercial forest fields, decreased tree seedling growth, survivability, and other environmental stresses. These pollutants significantly impact the natural world, causing environmental deterioration and issues like the acid rain and toxic algal blooms in the ocean. Carbon monoxide, lead, nitrogen oxides, ground level ozone, particle pollution, and sulfur oxides are the six contaminants. Carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere through burning fossil fuels, releasing chemicals into the atmosphere, lowering forest cover, and the rapid expansion of farming, development, and industrial activity, all of which change the climate system's balance.
Introduced and spread outside their natural habitats, invasive species have harmed native biodiversity in practically every ecosystem on the planet and are one of the most serious threats to biodiversity. Plants, animals, parasites, and other creatures that are not native to an ecosystem and may inflict economic or environmental impact as well as harm to human health are considered non-natives. They have a negative influence on biodiversity, including the loss or extinction of native species as a result of competition, predation, or pathogen transmission, as well as the disturbance of local ecosystems and ecological processes. Around the world, the situation is worsening at a high cost in terms of socioeconomics, health, and the environment. Invasive species endanger development by causing destruction on agriculture, forestry, fisheries, and ecological habitats, all of which are vital to people's livelihoods in developing countries. Climate change, pollution, habitat loss, and human-caused disruption all contribute to this damage. Surprisingly, despite the massive economic and ecological costs that can come from biotic introductions of invasive species, there have been comparatively little efforts to educate the public about these implications.
Our genes play an essential role in our health, but our behavior and environment do as well, like what we eat, who we interact with, and how physically active we are. This factor related to our health and our life is called epigenetics. Epigenetics is the study of how our behavior and environment can cause changes that affect the way of our genes work. Our epigenetics change as we age, both as part of normal development and aging and in response to our behaviors and environment. These changes begin before we are born. Our cells all have the same genes, but they look and behave differently. Epigenetics can also change throughout our life. Our epigenetics at birth is not the same as during childhood or adulthood. Further, not all epigenetic changes are permanent. Some epigenetic changes can be added or removed in response to changes in behavior or environment. Epigenetics is the science behind turning on and off based on the reaction to the environment. The chemical tags that turn genes on and off can be influenced by diet, chemical exposure, and medication. Some of these chemicals are in air pollution from cars and trucks. Some are in pesticide formulation. These chemicals affect epigenetics when pesticides are sprayed on fruits and vegetable crops to kill pests. Their families or people living close to the farm can be exposed to pesticide by inhaling these chemicals. People who use pesticide on their lawns and gardens can also get exposed by touching them and inhaling these chemicals. Chemicals in the environment can upset gene regulation in both adults and children, but we can help by reducing air pollution to support healthy bodies because a clean environment supports health for this generation and the next generation. In conclusion, epigenetic study could explain human development and aging mechanism. It improves our understanding of disease mechanism and helps identify ways of preventing diseases. It can also help us understand the importance of risk factors for disease and predict diseases more effectively. Epigenetic changes happen throughout our life, and our choices can make fundamental differences in how we develop as a human being.
If these people don't stop polluting, I might really disappear.
Humans does more pollution. Land animals die. Sea animals die too. College students finishing their degree. Even without oxygen.